Yo, what's up, everybody? Hey, thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of KaneSaid. I'm your host, Kane Bradfield, man. I got an awesome guest today, man. Can't wait to hear my guy's story, man. Reggie Hollins, Tuskegee University, baby. How you doing, man?
Doing good, Kane, man. How are you today?
Man, I can't complain, man. Can't complain, man. Life is good, man. Yo, talk to me, baby. What's been going on with you?
Not too much, man. Thanks for having me on the show today.
Most definitely.
I'm excited to be here and speak with you, man. Um, just really been, making way,
Yeah,
a segue for the season coming up. Through all
definitely.
of this COVID ordeal. But
Man,
it's
and, Co-
lining up for us. So
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
and
it's
COVID's
been
been
tough, but it's
crazy.
lining up for us.
Yeah,
Absolutely, absolutely,
most
man.
definitely, man. Most
Absolutely. But
definitely.
we're figuring it out, man, on our end. The
Right.
guys are doing everything. They're going over and beyond to prepare for the season, even through restricted,
Yeah.
things that the university puts there and the conference puts there. But it's been quite a journey, but
Yeah.
I applaud my young men for not making any excuses.
Man, that's what's up, man. So listen, man, tell the people, man, who are you, man? Give it to me, baby. Who are you?
Good. Well, man, I'm originally from College Park, Georgia. So it
Okay.
all
Okay.
started in the Atlanta area. Absolutely. So I'm a Georgia boy, and
Yeah, College Park.
it's pretty funny how I ended up here in Alabama. But just to say the least, man, I grew up playing all my baseball up in the College Park area out of Old National Park, and we
Okay.
had very. Oh, I'm sorry. We
I know you
had
good.
very successful teams, man, and just successful coaching that really got us our opportunities. And so I went from the park rec system to Mays High School, and
Man.
so ended up going to an APS school, which was a quite an adventure, man, and met so many good, wholesome people that helped me to where I am today. But I was a 4-year starter there,
Okay.
pitcher and middle infielder. I also played corner infield. So wherever they really needed me, man, I was pretty much like a jack of all trades. And never made an excuse. Just wanted to do what was best for the team. So
Right.
had a successful 4 years there. Got an opportunity at Tuskegee University to play. So I'm actually coaching at my alma mater now, which is pretty
Okay.
sweet.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so I did 4 years here, man. Pitched and played a position as well. So I was a two-way guy in college, which doesn't happen a lot.
Right.
So I was pretty grateful for that
So so so,
opportunity.
so coach, let me ask you this. What
Hmm.
made you, because me, man, I'm a Savannah State guy myself, man. What
Okay,
made you
okay.
choose Tuskegee? What I mean? How did that come, what I'm saying, to you?
That's a great question. It was more so of a family school because, to be
Mm,
honest, a couple of other schools had a bid on Tuskegee in my liking,
okay.
but the family portion and the exposure that I had all my life. My father graduated from there. A lot of my godparents, which are his close friends, they attended school there, so we would always go, homecoming year after year, and that
Yeah.
homecoming environment, man, it's
Man,
special.
it's different,
It's
man.
special. Yeah, absolutely. So, once you get exposed to that, and you just kind of see it always remains in the back of your head. But just straightforward. I think I was able to get best of both worlds. So a quality
Yeah.
academic experience. It was a family school for me, but then I was also able to make a difference in the baseball program.
Right. Man, let me tell you this though. When you talk about homecoming, man. I can remember, man, we used to of course play you guys, right? And
Absolutely.
now it wasn't homecoming, but a regular game. But hey man, what's the name of you guys dancing crew? Like, you know what I'm saying?
The
What's the
the
name of you
Piper
guys?
Piperettes.
Man,
Is
listen,
that
man.
it?
I remember, yeah, yeah. They go crazy, man. Now you don't get me wrong, Savannah State has some good ones too, man. But I remember coming to Tuskegee, I like, boy, they going
Absolutely.
in. They
Yeah, man,
going
it's a
in.
special environment, dude. And I
Yeah.
I know a lot of things that stand out is the shed, and the shed is where the students gather,
Yeah, yeah,
during the
yeah.
game. That's probably definitely something that stood out for you too. But
Right.
that's a big recruiter for us.
Okay.
I don't care what sport it is. It's a big
Yeah.
recruiter for everybody. Every kid wants to come on the campus and experience the shed. So,
Spin the shit.
um,
Yeah.
yeah, that's right. So we use it to our advantage, man, and
Okay.
we get them down for homecoming. A lot of recruits come in and they get to see what's going on and get to interact with the current players and the
Right.
student
Right.
body. And it's nothing like that. Now you can truly get a feel of where you would be attending. So it works for us.
Okay. 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 So now you're at Tuskegee. Okay.
Hmm.
Playing. I ain't talking about the coaching part yet, but just
Okay,
playing.
absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Okay. Now give us that story. Talk about that, man. Talk about your time
Yeah,
at
for
Tuskegee
sure.
playing ball.
It was different. You know, we weren't a winning program at the time.
Okay.
So I knew I could come in and make a direct impact and play right away. That's
Okay.
portion. That's a portion of why I chose Tuskegee. I
Yeah.
wanted to make an instant impact. Um, I did. I'll be honest. I did see myself doing two-way right away, but it didn't
Okay.
happen like that, which was okay because I'm okay with waiting my turn and working hard while I do that.
Right.
And that's a
Right.
big thing that we preach. But I was more so of a PO. They needed me for pitching right away. We had some defensive woes a little bit, so I was, kind of antsy, but I kept uplifting my teammates, working with them. And so what I would do outside of practice is get my infield work.
Mm.
Because I was strictly labeled as a PO, that's fine. So in practice, it's strictly pitcher work. But I would
Okay.
have to hit the cages and, get my infield work outside of it because I knew if I ever got that opportunity, I wanted to be ready.
Right.
And so, just to make a long story short, there was a day that some injuries that took place, and coach needed someone to step up in the middle infield. And
Right.
so, he kind of looked down at one of the seniors, and the senior said, "Hey, Coach Hollins, I don't know if you realize, but Hollins, he's pretty good up the middle." And so,
Okay. Okay.
I was ready, man, and he gave me the opportunity. After listening to one of the senior players that I work with daily, and next thing you know, man, I come off the field, we win that game, and he said, "Man, that was one of the best displays of second base that I have ever seen in my life." And
What?
so, so from that day forth, which was probably almost maybe 3 games towards the end of the season, I was a two-way guy. I was a starter up the middle, and I was a starter. I was our ace pitcher. So
Yeah.
it was pretty impressive how it happened, but it was a humbling experience the first year
Okay.
to know that you may be able to beat somebody out, but you just got to kind of be a team player and wait. So
Yeah.
I experienced that myself, so I share that with my players all the time, man. But
Mm.
then, man, it went on after that, went on to be an all-conference pitcher, all-conference middle infielder. So I was all-conference at
What?
both of them. So I
Hey, man, that's crazy.
split the duties well, man, and balanced it well. It was very tough because, as you know, you got to put most of your marbles into one position if you want to be
Yeah.
the best. So to actual handle, being a starter up the middle and then your ace pitcher, that was pretty tough for me. So
Wow. Wow.
I would
But you
go
got that
from
thing
pitching
done
to
though. You got it done.
got it done, man. It took a mental mindset. You got to
Yeah.
be strong mentally and have a good routine and
Okay.
also have a good recovery plan. And if you can
Yeah.
have those things,
Stuff can
I
happen.
think it can happen. It can happen.
Right. Right. Right.
Absolutely.
So this was up. Okay. So once you left college, man, talk to me.
That's what's funny. I really I didn't leave long. So
Mm.
it's pretty interesting. So again, my senior year, we'll fast forward to my senior year of playing.
Okay.
The AD at the time, Alvin Jackson, called me into his office in the middle of the year. And I was like, I know I hadn't done nothing. My head on straight. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. What's going on, Mr. Jackson? So I get in there and he said, "Son, are you going to graduate?" And I said, "Yes, sir." I said, what lines you're questioning, if you don't
Yeah.
mind me asking. And he said, "Well, I want you to be my next assistant coach." And so I said, "What?"
Okay.
I had never fathomed coaching. I'm getting my mind geared. I've got combines that I'm, prospect camps that I'm going to, and showcases and things of that sort for professional scouts that I was taking part in. I hadn't thought about no coaching, man.
Right.
I'm still actively pursuing me, and so I told him, I said, "Wow, I'm flattered. I'm that's a privilege to hear you say that, and think highly of me in that light. But if you could respect the fact that I want to pursue my professional career, and it may still be an opportunity there after that, I would love that. I think I would love to possibly come back and coach." And so he respected that. He saw where my head was. I did a little overseas for a second. Didn't last too long. Very competitive. I was a little bit undersized, to get that contract I wanted. But I fought well, and I'm pleased with that opportunity. And so once that kind of released me, I said, hey, you know what? Let me see about this opportunity in coaching. Maybe I can do something. And so I guess what's so unique, Kane, is the fact that I had never thought about coaching, but I had always been coaching my entire life. When I started looking back at it, I was like, man, God has actually already prepared me for this.
You already know, yeah.
Because, I was penetrating programs that were undervalued a little bit and underappreciated a little bit. When I say that, meaning coaching, you didn't get everything, the nurturing that you needed. So I, as a player, would always step up and help my teammates. And so I'm like, man, I've been coaching since I've been a player. And here it is, I have the opportunity to actually, really put my impact on this program.
Okay.
So that's how it worked, man. And of course, with anything good, there's always some turbulence. Right? And so that's what we get into, man. Yeah, it's always some turbulence. So I look Pops in the eye and say, hey, thanks for everything. My parents, I told them thank you for everything that they've done for me. I think it's time for me to go and figure it out. And so I left, came back to Tuskegee, but my contract wasn't ready. And so I was a little nervous, to be honest. But again, I had, as a player, I was always a calm spirit, I didn't get rattled. So I didn't get rattled. I used my brain. I said, you know what? Let me contact my resource up here in Auburn and see if I could, train hitters and kids for income until this works out.
Right.
The crazy thing is, man, not everybody can push through that and endure that, because I endured that till they got my contract totally right for 3 years, man. It took 3 years. The reason why it took 3 years is because there was a lot of turnover each year. We had a new AD in all 3 of those years, so everything kept getting pushed. I promise you, man. I can't make this up. So everything was getting pushed. Mr. Jackson, everything he had done, it got put on hold for the next guy. Then what the next guy would do, it got put on hold. Then finally we got Mr. Simon, who was an excellent athletic director, that pushed all of that work that they had done through. And so with that being said, man, it was a lonely journey. It was we're talking 18-hour days some days for 3 years. So, I was still doing the job, with the full entail, because the head coach at the time was a football coach.
So hold on, back up now.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Let me catch up with this thing now. Okay, so
yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so you was coaching, but at the same time you was being a instructor in Auburn at the same time.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I'm juggling both. And so the head coach at the time, Montrezl Kirby, great guy, taught me so much. I learned so much under him. He was actually a football coach. So that was the disconnect in the program from, the late 90s to the 2000s. It was neglected because they would always put a football guy in charge of the program. So it's almost like a babysitter.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? The most knowledgeable babysitter instead of a full-time baseball coach. So little did I know that as soon as I hit the scene coming in, everything was thrown on my plate because he was in football season. So our program had never had a fully functioning fall. So I put the fall in place. I I ordered everything. You know, I balanced the budget. You know, I was right, like hands on. Like it's no colder experience than I had coming into college baseball. Normally,
So,
an
but look,
assistant won't touch these things.
so, okay, that was about to ask you now. So this time you the assistant doing all this.
I'm the
Wow.
assistant.
Now,
So,
okay, now, are you getting
mhm,
paid at this time?
I'm not getting paid. Okay, and so that goes too, because anytime I make a move, I always pray about it,
Definitely.
and I make sure that move is where I'm supposed to be. So if God tells me that's where I'm supposed to be, no matter what's waiting on me, I'm gonna endure it.
Wow.
Okay, and so yes, things weren't quite right, but I knew I was supposed to be there and fight through that. So
Yeah.
that not being paid those 3 years were probably some of the most valuable lessons I ever carry into my life. Um, you know, wherever I go in my career, because I know God has some crazy things.
Right. Now, you know, I ask this now. So at the time, were
Uh-huh.
you dating, married, or anything like that?
I wasn't. I kept putting my wife on hold at the time
Okay. Okay.
because, but we were friends. I said,
Okay.
hey, let's continue to work on our friendship. We met in school. And I said, once I get established in this coaching thing, we can move forward. I said,
Yeah.
but right now, I don't think I'm trying to figure some things out. So I
Yeah.
don't want to, you know, not give you the time you deserve. And she understood that. But
That's
even
big.
through that, the 3 years, she was the one that held me down. And I'll be vulnerable too, man. This is what these
Man, give it
about.
to me.
So
Yeah.
so you wake up. If you want to be successful in college baseball, you have to have an off-season program, first off. So no matter what, I put that off-season program, and a big thing we do is we get up early in the morning. So 4:35 a.m., we're up to instill that discipline into our guys. So that was
Right.
the first thing that I saw our program lacking. We had no morning structure. And
Mm.
so I put that in, and we get up at 5. Some days we'd go to the weight room. Some days we may practice, full-fledged practice, because that's what fit for me. Because I was by myself again, remember? So
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
managing 25 guys by myself, and it's unreal. I still don't know, you know, to this day how it happened. But
Right.
anyway, to keep moving, so I would do that, then go shower up, breakfast, go to the office, do all of the administration work that entails,
Okay.
making sure guys doing what they're supposed to do with their classes, their advisors, you know, all those things that come daily.
Right.
And then after another practice, because we could do 2 days back then, we would practice again so we can get our baseball in. So morning was for conditioning and weights. So we'll
Okay.
practice again, right? So we'll finish around 6. So then at 6, I go 15, 20 minutes up the road to Auburn, and I work my real job
Man, so you getting
that
it.
pays me. So
Yeah.
I didn't leave the sports academy in Auburn. Are you familiar with Mark Fuller?
Yeah.
I trained, yes, I trained
Okay.
with him. He's
Okay.
the one that hired me on. I told him what I was trying to do, and he hired me on, and you know, the rest was history. So I would
Wow.
go up and train kids there, and then also run his camps on the weekends.
Okay.
So it was hectic. So we talking long, extensive days.
Man,
So I get home, I'm crashing, you know, and boom, I got to get up and do it again. And I did that for 3.5 years.
fighting that
And
mud.
things did get better. But to show you the blessing out of it, though, Kane,
Okay.
moving into the next segue of my head coaching stint,
Okay. Now,
when
now,
we
now let's talk
structured that,
gears. Let's talk gears for a minute now. What year we
okay,
talking about?
absolutely. We're going to talk about 2011 when I started.
I'm with you. Okay.
Okay. So in 2011, we changed the direction of that program.
Okay.
And so we had the first winning season since 98.
Wow.
Okay. In 2011. We were number one in triples per game, you know, sent by the NCAA in 2011.
Yeah.
And we did all of that and finished fourth in the conference with 16 freshmen.
Man, stop.
Okay. I'm serious. I can't make this
Man.
up. So the 16 freshmen Out of 16 freshmen, there were 7 starters that were
Okay.
freshmen. So we were freshmen figuring this out.
Wow.
But the new energy and everything that was brought behind the program, it worked.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, for the next 4 years, we, a program who was only winning 6 games, started to win 20. Then after winning 20 games, we went to the conference championship, twice, and we were runner up. And that's simply because lack of resources. We were making something out of nothing. You know, we're hurting on scholarships, different things back then. So it was just hurdle after hurdle after hurdle after hurdle.
Yeah.
And so here it is, you have a leader and assistant coach that didn't make excuses. So I let the guys know what I was going through so they could take it a little different. So they wouldn't make those excuses about getting up.
Right. Yeah.
Don't make those excuses. They didn't know I wasn't getting paid, from the school. I didn't go into that depth.
In
but
that detail, yeah.
They understood the grind that was going on. They're like, hold on, this man go up to Auburn and train kids and then get up and do this over again. We don't have an excuse. We got to be up and on point. And so it just kind of worked, man. We saw a lot of good things through those years. But most importantly, I became the first full-time assistant baseball hire ever.
Man, time out.
When I got my contract, I didn't realize it, but if you look back in history, they had always had a football coach that was the baseball coach, even through the successful times.
Right.
Even through the 13, 14 championships we have.
First,
it was never a full-time coach. So I'm first, and then once I got the opportunity at the head, which somebody saw, me doing a good job, I'm the first full-time head coach as well. So
that's crazy.
That just, man, it just goes back to show you sometimes you got to fight and push through something.
It's that grind, man. It's that grind.
It's the grind.
So man, give me that. I don't know if you remember that conversation, man. Give me that conversation, man, when they came to you and offered you again. Now, remember, you've been grinding. A lot of people know, a lot of people don't know. Man, when they came to you about the possibility of you being the head coach, talk about those feelings, big guy.
Oh man, the feelings were unreal. I was surprised at first.
Okay.
But then I immediately started to think about, so you telling me I have to coach my teammates that I'm playing with right now? And you telling me I have to keep this in the whole season? So my mindset every day at practice was totally different.
Right.
And not my actions didn't have to change because I was already a leader. So it's not like I had to tighten up anything. I was that type of leader already. But in my mind, I was like, you guys don't know, I could be your coach next year. This is unreal. How am I supposed to, come in and coach up some guys that, hey, I may have hung out with and went out with and, and structure you.
That's tough.
But so that was the biggest thing at the forefront, learning how to separate myself.
Okay.
Like, hey, these aren't you're not their friends anymore. You got to separate it. And so I would call them in for a meeting out of respect and say, hey, look, we got to learn how to separate it. And once you graduate, all right, we can go back to what it was. But for the sake of the grace period, I need to get some of y'all out of here that I never, and get some guys that I never played with before. And it'll be a little easier. So to actually accomplish a lot of those things, man, it was unreal. And you most things we worry about, they take care of themselves. So the guys fell right in line, man, because they respected me as a player.
As a player,
and
man.
So,
it's huge though.
That's absolutely.
Crazy. Wow.
So it gets better, man. It gets better.
Man,
I can't even coach.
Baby. Give it to me.
So that's what we're here for today. So I'm gonna give it to you. The crazy thing about it is, Kane, we were under resourced, right?
Okay.
So 2012 was the last year we played on campus. Okay. And we would play 50 minutes away from Tuskegee University home games. Our home games were 50 minutes away. Can you imagine this?
Hold on,
just wrap your head around it, man.
Time out, man. So you guys wasn't playing there. You drive an hour for a
2012 is
home
the
game.
last year. Yep, we were
You
playing
drive
at a
away
minor
for a
league
home
ball club
game. Wow.
because the field, actually, we shouldn't have been playing on the field even before then because it just was not up to standard. And you know, sometimes our HBCUs have to do much better with our facilities.
Man,
and so that was a big issue. So for me as an assistant, I knew it was personal. You know, I was like, we got to find a coach. I was like, Coach Kirby, that's the head. We got to find a way to get back, man.
Yeah.
I don't know how we going to do it. We got to find a way to get back. And so everything we were trying, it was just getting tossed out somehow. Everything we tried. And so here it is. You know, I went into my first inaugural head coaching season in 2017.
Okay.
So when I get to 2017, I said, hey, you know what? I'm getting ready to try a different approach and see if we can figure something out.
Right.
So to fast forward, man, here we are in 2021. Last year, 2020, we were scheduled to return baseball back to Tuskegee. And what we had done, man, is we went out as a program and raised our own money and actually did the work ourselves. So what I did was hire certain liaisons who had the professional knowledge, but they taught us the skills and we performed the skills. So that saved money. So we went under the ground. We renovated the drainage. We laser leveled drainage, irrigation. There was no irrigation on the field. And we put down new soil, new sod, new dirt, and restructured the infield totally. And then we also had new fencing put in, and a new backstop put in. So new dugouts uplifted too. And so basically a total new renovation phase. Yep. So I would say over the period of time from, you know, actual dollar amounts to in-kind donations, probably 500,000, man.
Man, get out of here, man.
It's the way God was setting things up, man. He put certain people that were connected to us, that saw the story and saw it building and saw us working from ground up. He connected it. So like I just used my brain, man, and pitched certain things to our agriculture department. I thought about it. I said, hey man, Booker T. Washington, and George Washington and all of our four founders, they established these grounds themselves. Because if you come on our campus, you'll notice that the buildings are built by the students. That's why they are very similar to each other. That's why they won't get rid of the design, because the original bricks were built by the students.
I had no
and this
idea,
is Booker
man.
T. Yeah, I'm teaching you. Yeah, history lessons are being dropped.
School me up.
We got February coming, man.
Yeah,
so that's Booker T was ahead of his time. He taught those trade skills. So I used what he set forth, and I said, this is how we're gonna be successful. This is how we're gonna accomplish it. We're gonna use what Booker T has already given us. He's given us the blueprint. Don't reinvent it. Just bring it to this baseball field. So I used that knowledge, those skills of what Booker T set forth, and I knew if we could put our head together and put our hands on it, it's going to be a lot more special. Then people outside are now going to gravitate to it. And so that was the course of the action from 2017 to 2019. Was to raise the money, put the awareness of what we're trying to do. And it's special because my wife found something I wrote in 2015, a list, and it was to return baseball to Tuskegee by 2020. Man, I promise you, I can't make it up. Man, she found it, and I said, what? I said, where did you find it? She was like, in this drawer over here. I said, you gotta be kidding me.
Man,
and here it is, 2020 came, we were ready to return, but it gets better. So the people that bought in from the outside, we're now partners with the Atlanta Braves. Whoa. We're now partners with Coke United. And they have come on to support the finish of the facility. And so they dropped us a brand new scoreboard, a gator, you know, to maintenance. But it was the story of the guys putting their hands on it. Like our school has, when I pieced it together, how we pitched it, how we got the architecture and the agriculture schools on board, like, and most of our guys that are infiltrated in those majors, they got hands-on experience.
Wow.
So when you sell that the students are getting hands-on experience, who doesn't want a piece of it? Because that's something special. Yeah, you don't see that.
Yeah. So, but let me ask you this though, man. Man, did you get any kickback though, or were everybody like, "Yo, let's do it"? I mean, did you get some kickback the same?
Oh, I got a tons of. You are crazy. How you think you gonna do this? What? Not happening.
Yeah.
Do you know where you were at? You at Tuskegee. They used to tailgate on that field. How you think you gonna transform that? They tailgated on that field. As a boy, I tailgated on it.
Wow.
Do you hear me? So it was a lot of things that were not in order. And so I had to kind of come in and create some structure and order to the program alongside of Coach Kirby, who brought a lot of structure. So, you know, he understands winning and what it takes. And so I just kind of took what he did, Coach Kirby, what he brought, and I just expanded it to another level. And
that's crazy.
Yeah, it was man, you should hear so much negative. You know, and that's why it was pretty funny to hear the quote. You know, the fame is what is free. The fame is free.
Yeah, but the grind costs, baby.
That's what I'm saying. So when you said that hit.
That's it.
That hit my story, because it's like when I was in this grind, nobody be found.
No, man.
But now that it's come to light and outside influences have put their hands on it, everybody wants a piece of it.
Everybody wants a piece
of
it.
So it's but that's life. So I get
I'm about to say that, man. That's part of that grind. But you know what's crazy though, man? Man, you talking about history, man. Do you know that now you are part of history? Like for real?
Listen, man, I thought of that, hit me a month ago. I was like, really? Oh, this is in the books.
Yeah, this in the books.
This
is
yeah. I'm in history. I'm a part of history in multiple ways.
Yeah.
And I have to let our guys know that too. And so, you know, they're starting to understand it and get it.
Right.
And what you're seeing is everything we built up since 2011 to now, these players put back into the program. That didn't exist. That was another thing. We built up the alumni expectation and made them feel a part of it, because that's what happens at a lot of universities. Yeah. Those players that pave the way don't get their acknowledgement enough.
Yep.
You gotta put something out there about them, show them why we still need them, why they're still relevant, what they've, you know, helped you to accomplish. And so we did that. We didn't have an alumni game. We set that up. I set that up. Had the first one in 2017.
Man,
the first one ever. As much history as our alumni. Man, we are responsible for 14 championships, 2 nationals.
Man, stop.
Draft picks out the woozah. You know, it's like, hey, we got to embrace that and bring that old to the new. And so that's what I've been doing. And it's been working, man.
It's been working.
Program's growing. Program's growing. Everybody is now understands, you know. Everybody knows Tuskegee University has a baseball team. Let's put it like that. Because to let you know, man, some of our students didn't even used to know. Man, this is where the program has come from. I didn't know y'all had a baseball team.
You got a baseball team?
So now to know that the student body is talking about baseball and will get a chance to see it after being off for 10 years. Yeah, it's gonna be amazing on the 27th.
Awesome, man. That's awesome. So let me ask you, I know, man, Deion Sanders, man, he's doing some stuff, and
wonderful job.
Wonderful job, man. So you watch him, you know, it's football, but still the same dynamics, man. So you watching him do that, you know what I'm saying, and it's crazy because it's exactly what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? So
absolutely.
So, you know, the only difference is, of course, he got the whole. You know, it's a big time.
The resources.
Behind him. Yeah, he got the resources, man. But watching his story also, what does that do for you?
It gives us a little bit of hope, man.
Okay.
And excitement. It brings excitement to HBCU sports. Yeah. Totally. Because please believe, I know it's penetrated directly towards football, but it's helping every sport there.
Every sport.
And it's helping our sports too at other schools. And that's what people don't realize. Like that one move is helping everybody. It's opening eyes that, hey, we can kind of do this. Our programs can be of standard as well.
Yeah.
And so it just inspires really. I think there are, as great of a job as Deion is doing, I think there are so many other coaches out there that needs their story heard, because it's
right. I mean,
the stories are out here.
Big dog.
The stories out here. We've sacrificed a lot, but people are not hearing these stories, so they don't know what you go through. They just look at you and say, "Oh, okay, he's just a coach." No, I go over and beyond. There are other coaches that I know their stories. They go over and beyond. So I think we've been doing the things that Deion are doing. We just need the spotlight, and we just need the resources behind it. And so, like I tell a lot of my friends that are, in the coaching business, make them hear your story. That's what the Braves did. That's what Coke did. We sat down. I let them hear my story.
Gave them the story.
I let them hear the program's history and lineage. Tied it back up to it. I went to, we went to demographics. Let me show you how many people I recruit out of your area up there in Atlanta.
Okay.
So we can do something. We're giving opportunity from the kids that you pull, that you have around your community. Let's tie this in.
Right.
It just only makes sense. And so you just kind of have to really have to just sit back, have a plan, keep it quiet until you have to speak about it and execute it. Because when it gets out there, it's a lot of negative stuff that's gonna come. It's always gonna be something negative. If you're not,
Yeah. I agree with that, man. I remember my time at, like I said, as a Final State, man. Had a great time there. But man, we were always here to negative. And everybody, like I will always
absolutely,
man, this is the Final State, man. They ain't gonna do this. And you know what I'm saying? The difference between you and I, man, you were so invested that you didn't hear none of that stuff.
No, I blocked it out.
I was like, man, I'm about to go play ball next level type deal anyway. So but you blocked it out. You know what I mean? Because you was a visionary, and that's huge, man. The fact that you stayed,
absolutely,
stayed and continue watching it go forth. That's crazy.
Absolutely,
man. That's crazy.
Yeah,
man.
It's crazy, man. A lot of people don't know those first 4 years. What I went through,
right?
Because I don't even discuss it. I don't discuss it, until it's appropriate. Somebody asked me, maybe I will. But once you know those truths right there, you're gonna know I'm totally invested.
Wow. So, Coach, let me ask you this, man. What's next for you, man? What's next for you? And you know what I'm saying? Your grind at Tuskegee, man. What's next?
Well, we'll always continue to add on to the facility, because that's going to help recruiting. So facility never stops. But I just really want to expand, the scholarships. Because it's not an even playing field. When you're going to play, institutions that are ranked or outside of the conference, it's almost like taking a knife to a gunfight.
Wow.
And that's not fair.
Okay.
So if the NCAA allows 9 scholarships, we need to be as close to that 9 as possible to give our guys the best opportunity. And then if you want to see continuous winning traditions, that's the way it has to be done. Until then, we're going to be inconsistent with how consistent we win, because we'll have to rebuild and develop so much. Like a lot of what we do is a ton of development, more than the college game really allows for.
Wow.
Because as we know, we have restrictions by NCAA. So you don't have time to do a whole lot of developing and working on one-on-one type things. There's a difference in a coach and a trainer. So at times I'm having to be a trainer inside of my team. And when you have to do that and spend those times, you're playing catch up. And, somebody else is getting further. We need guys to come in at a certain level. And so I think lately we've definitely been attacking that better, because we're using the academic portion
Okay.
So we're finding some really talented guys that are academic studs. So we're able to piece the dollars together. But those resources on those scholarships, man, that's a make or break.
So let me ask you, Coach, school me on this now. School me on this now. What? Okay. What determines the amount of scholarships you guys get than other schools?
So of course, the maximum amount is determined by the NCAA. D1 11.5. That's their decision, and D2 9. D2 and down 9, but D3 doesn't provide scholarship. So they don't provide scholarships. So hats off to those D3s because those coaches do an amazing job. And so, but we know a little bit of how that feels because we're almost on that level of, the resources of a D3. So I know what they're going through. But it's really just the institution. It's up to the institution. So the institution can give you up to 9. So whatever the institution allots, that's what you get. Inside of that 9, not surpassing that 9.
Right.
So it's really just trying to get the school on board, taking this momentum we have, trying to show them that, hey, we're winning without it. Look what we could do with it.
Yeah.
It's going to bring more recruiting to the institution. It's going to help the brand. It's going to do nothing but invest good things back into our institution. So, we just try to sell those points because, and then at Kane, another thing we have to overcome, man, is tuition cost is not created equal. Okay. And so as a recruiter, if a kid can go to Albany State, let's use Albany State, for instance, and receive state funding or receive a lower tuition cost.
Okay.
That's an advantage for Albany State because now we're dealing with not having the scholarship and the high tuition rate of $33,000. So most schools, their tuition you get around 20 range. Most of the schools we're competing against, they're around like the 20 range for everything. We're 33, and then it's no in-state, out-of-state. So it's certain things within the confinements of our private institution that makes it a little bit more difficult too. So this is even more reason why we need those scholarships.
Need those scholarships for that type stuff.
Absolutely, because or else we're at a disadvantage twice. We're not able to provide the correct amount of money that we need to put out to get the best guys out there, and then also, tuition is extremely costly.
Right.
And then other institutions have lower costing tuition, and then they're also having lottery money. So Alabama, we're not on the lottery money, so that stuff factors into recruiting. And I don't know if a lot of people take those things into consideration when recruiting. So we have to go over and beyond, and we just have to stay true to who we are and sell what we're doing, show the progression, and hope that guys really buy into what we're doing. And that's what our guys have done. They bought into who we are and where we're going, so they come anyway.
Right. Well, I'm gonna tell you what's so unique, man, about what you're doing. I'm gonna tell you this too, Coach. It's a one thing, man. Just continue to grind for sure. Because I've learned something, just by, living, as the fame increases, more people get on your wagon. But it's not a bad thing, though. Not a bad thing for, to get on your bandwagon because, that what those resources come, that what those believers start happening when they start seeing you produce, man. So, you guys head in the right direction, man. You're definitely heading in the right direction. I'm gonna be honest.
I appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate those words.
Man. Yeah, most definitely. I'm blown away. I had no idea. That's why I said, Big Dog, I gotta hear your story because I know it was something to what you got going on, man. And my prayer is that you guys continue growing and that you get,
Thank you.
everything that you deserve, Big Dog. That's huge, man.
Thank you. We're gonna keep fighting, man. Like I say, these guys have done a fantastic job of making it easy for me to market them.
Yeah.
So when you're sitting at 90%, graduation rate and 75, 80% job rates that they're getting coming out of here, those are easy sales.
Right.
And then showing what they're doing on the field, so they're very balanced, understand time management. Those are the things that I pitch to these donors and things of that sort. Like, we got to reward this. These guys are giving me everything they got. They empty in the tank. We got to reward this. So that's what I do daily. As long as my players can handle that piece and what goes on the field, I'm going to fight. I'm going to fight for what we need. So, absolutely.
I love that. So, Coach, man, if you had one thing, man, to leave, the listeners, man, people who out there grinding, what I'm saying? What would be that thing you leave with them?
Stay the course, man.
Yeah.
Stay the course. Because through that course, it's going to be a ton of hurdles. But those hurdles are there to elevate you and build you. And a lot of people, instead of running through those hurdles, jump over those hurdles and realize that at the end of the tunnel, there is light.
Right.
And I'm an example of it. So, just whatever you do, whatever comes, whatever distractions try to come in, that's normal. Stay the course. No one wants to hear an empty story. Yeah. So those hurdles are chapters. That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
Those hurdles are chapters in your book, in your story. Wow. So just jump over the hurdle, see what that story and what that chapter entails, and keep writing.
Man, that's what's up, man. Coach, man, I sure appreciate you for coming on today, sharing your story, man.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for having me, brother.
Yeah, most definitely, man. Been a true blessing, man, just to hear, the stuff that you has been enduring and continue fighting for. Yeah, man, I love it, man. I love it, man. So,
thank you, man.
Everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure, man. Everybody, man, thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of KaneSaid. And, man, y'all know my slogan, man. The fame is free, but the grind is cost, man. Coach, I appreciate you again.
Absolutely, I love it.
All right.
I love it. Thank you, man. Baby. Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir.
All right,
yes, sir.